Welcome to the Sara Finkelstein Show, where the next 10 minutes can change your life. Also on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. Here's Sara.
Well, we're into a brand new year. Happy 2023 to everybody. And I know that we are all working on our goals. We all want to have a very successful and prosperous year. So here are some tips for you that I want to share with you, and I think that you'll find them quite beneficial. So these are my freedom financial tips for you, and please feel free to share with your friends and family. So here we go. The F in freedom stands for a financial plan. What is your financial plan? It's always a good idea to have a written plan, because things that are just sitting in our heads, we can forget about. But when it's on paper, it is so much more powerful. Whenever we have a goal that we want to accomplish, whatever it is, whether it be house improvements, whether it be planning a vacation, planning a trip, you have to have a solid foundation. And for your financial future, your financial wellness going forward, your retirement plan, you have to have a So, when was the last time that you sat down and created a financial plan? If you haven't done so, don't worry, it's not too late. The important thing is to get started, because if we don't get started, how will we ever reach our goals? We need to get started, have a plan in place, and along the way, probably tweak the plan as life throws us a curve. We need to modify and revise. So first thing is having a financial plan in place. The R in freedom is retirement. Now, we all work for decades. Some of us work for 3 decades, 4 decades. Some people work even more than that. But we want to have something. We want to achieve something in retirement. And of course, everybody's different. Some people want to travel like I do. Some people maybe want to just relax and not have to wake up to an alarm clock. Some people want to do volunteer work. The point is, what do you want in your retirement? What does retirement look like for you? Because once you know what you want to accomplish in your retirement, what you want to do, how you want to spend your time, you could start to focus on achieving the little goals along the way. So first, you have to know what you want before you can accomplish what you want. The E in freedom is enlist the help of a financial professional. Now, some people out there might feel nervous about doing that, might feel uneasy about opening up and sharing their private details of their finances. But I gotta tell you, working with a financial professional who really wants to help you, there's nothing more powerful than that, to have somebody who will hold your hand and guide you so that you can reach your financial goals. So it's important to enlist the help of a financial professional. Now, granted, there are some financial pros out there that have a minimum amount that they will work with, maybe $250,000, maybe $500,000, or maybe some even more than that. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. You could still find a financial professional that's willing to help you, because there's a lot more people that don't have $500,000 yet saved aside, but they still need help. And the super wealthy, I call them super wealthy, they're okay, but it's the people that may be living paycheck to paycheck really are the ones who can benefit from a financial professional that's willing to help them. So enlist the help of a financial professional. The second E in freedom stands for eliminate. Eliminate what? Eliminate the two major financial fears that Americans have. And they are the following. Did you know that Americans' number one financial fear is running out of money before running out of life? And there are solutions that you can implement that will help you to eliminate these fears, that you can be prepared and not be afraid of running out of money. Remember, it goes back to planning and having a solid foundation to your plan. The second fear that people have is becoming a burden to their children. Now, what is that all about? Well, as you may know, we are living longer than ever before. As a matter of fact, we just celebrated in our family. Grandma turned 100 last month. 100. Can you imagine? So with the fact that people are living longer into their 90s, even 100, even surpassing 100, it's a very realistic fear that we will need care as we get older, as we are no longer as active and maybe not totally 100% able to take care of ourselves in our older years. So for those people, they're concerned about becoming a burden to their children. This is another fear that could be eliminated with proper planning. And of course, yes, there is a cost to it, but it's well worth to have a plan in place, to have that peace of mind, to know that if your relative, your loved one, is that 1 out of 3 who will need long-term care in their latter years, that there's a plan in place to pay for it and to have them be taken care of. The D in freedom stands for debt, right? There are good types of debt, like having a mortgage so you can have your own home. That's a good debt. But there's also what we refer to as not so good debt, which could be credit cards. Now, we know that nowadays, many people do have credit cards. That's how we make our major purchases. But I hope that you don't get into the bad habit of not being able to pay your credit cards in full each and every month. Because if you don't pay them in full, then what happens? The credit card companies charge you a lot in interest. It could be 15, 20, 25% interest, which is great for them. It's a wonderful profit for the credit card companies. But wouldn't you be better off with that money that you pay in interest in your own pocket to do your own planning, whatever it may be, whether it's socking away money for your future years, whether it's saving for a big purchase, whatever it may be? I think that money is better off in your pocket than in the credit card company's pocket. Don't you agree? So we want to keep that bad debt to a absolute minimum or not at all. There's nothing wrong with charging purchases on credit cards, but the goal is to pay off those credit cards in full each and every month so that you are not spending your hard-earned dollars on interest charges. The O in freedom stands for open. Open up conversations with your loved ones, with your parents, with your adult children. Talk about what may happen down the road and how you will deal with it. Do you know what your parents' final wishes are? The fact that a lot of families do not have these conversations, this leads to quarrels within families. So please open up conversations with your family about final wishes, as well as what are the plans to deal with that potential need for long-term care down the road. Because let me tell you, long-term care is expensive, and much more expensive when you don't have a plan in place that will take care of it for you down the road. When you have to pay 100% of the costs out of your own pocket, it could devastate your life savings. So please get a plan in place and have these important conversations with your family. And the last letter in freedom is M, and that stands for manage. Manage your allocations. In other words, your allocations are how much money you have invested into what kind of vehicles. And what I see many times is that people will have either too much money at risk, meaning in the market where you have tremendous potential for growth, but you could also lose money. And then on the flip side, you have people that are so conservative that they only feel comfortable having their money in the local bank. And that's great, except for the fact that you cannot grow your money at the local bank. With inflation being as high as it is today, we need to grow our monies to keep up with the rising inflation that we're all dealing with. I was shocked the other day when I went food shopping, and 18 eggs, not a dozen, but 18 eggs was $7. And then just the other day, I went to a local supermarket and I was even more shocked that it was even more, $9 for 18 eggs at a local supermarket. So inflation is very high, and we need strategies to keep up with inflation so that our future goals can be intact and we can achieve our future goals. So those are the freedom goals, and we all want financial freedom. At least I think most of us do. So those are the freedom goals. And if you have questions about anything, feel free to reach out. And by the way, if you know anybody who is going to be new to Medicare, we are doing an in-person educational workshop in Delray Beach on Saturday, January 21. So if you would like to join us, just give us a call or send us a text message and we'll get you the information.
Knowledge is power, but only when you implement what you've learned to your own benefit. Tune in next time for even more powerful tips on the Sara Finkelstein Show.